the subject is to Iran. What do you think? Is there competition of routes of supply to Baumgarten? Because speculation started since well, a couple of days ago. Mr. Medvedev especially saying that Nord Stream 2 is target of it is Baumgarten via Opal pipeline. Opal pipeline is 35 BCM. Half is no tax exemption, no exemption of the energy package. So it means about 17.5. So how much gas needed to pump it to Baumgarten, and at what cost would be comparing to Ukraine? And 1,000 cubic meters from Siberia to Baumgarten via Ukraine is $42 only per 1,000 kilometers. How much is the price will be of gas if it goes Nord Stream 2? Thank you.
I happily provide an answer, but obviously I'm the wrong person to answer that. Because clearly sort of like that would have to be a question either directed to Gazprom directly or to sort of the Austrian shareholder in the project, that's OMV. And they obviously are the ones that would have an interest in seeing the gas in their hub in Baumgarten. We're a German player, obviously with a European portfolio, but nevertheless with a very large share of the portfolio in Germany. So ultimately for us it's a question, how does that fit as a transport route into our German portfolio? And therefore Baumgarten to me is not, it's again an intellectual discussion one could have. But again, to me it's a question of does that end up in Germany and does it therefore provide something to my portfolio? And again, one should address that to Gazprom directly.
If you very short comment and then we'll have to...
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the question of Mr. Kumar, who asked me on the what we would suggest, going away from gas a little bit, but in the context of the European emission trading system, what we would suggest to basically help the EU ETS to work more effectively. I think everyone would agree in one way or the other the European emission trading system has been overestimated in its effectiveness. Not only because of price, we have seen over-allocation, and it's not as good working as we would like to see from a cap and trade system in principle. So we have been working as WWF together with other NGOs and academics on a proposal to have emission performance standards. So to look into individual allowances for gas plants, coal plants, whatever installations, specific emissions per kilowatt hour, for instance. That is, by the way, the proposal in the US by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, because they've looked at various cap and trade systems in the world and figured out, the cap and trade system in Europe is not working. Unfortunately, it's not so far. I would wish it would. It does not. So they looked into something more effective. It's quite interesting that in the US, and I don't know how that will run through the Congress in one way or the other, or through other channels, but I think there's a growing momentum in the academic, environmental, and scientific community that we need something more than just cap and trade to be effective on curtailing carbon dioxide emissions. And that's independent of gas or coal. It's a technology neutral thing. It will basically force plants to comply with a certain standard, just like with air pollution, with SO2, NOx, or lead, or whatsoever. So it's a very simple procedure. This is not being agreed so far. It's gaining momentum, but I think that's the way forward for the EU ETS. Complement the EU ETS, I'm not saying replacing the EU ETS, but I think that's the way forward to make the EU ETS, the European Emission Trading System, much more effective.
Great, thank you very much. We started 5 minutes late, and we're ending 5 minutes late as well. Sort of a characteristic of these political events that we do try to run them on time. I'd like to thank all the panelists who took part in this evening's event, and I'd like to thank Shell as well for sponsoring it. Again, we do have the Twitter question, which my understanding is that it will continue to function after the event. And the question is, what is the best way for the EU to diversify its energy supplies? This whole evening, there's a full video and highlights, and there's been interviews with the panelists as well. and that'll be on the Energy Vision's website. The next event is on November 18th, Plugging the Carbon Leak. And again, if you want to hop on the Politico's Energy Vision site and register for that. We also have the feedback forms, which were on your seats, and we have cocktails, snacks, and time for networking, and I guess a conversation between the WWF and Shell after the event. Thanks again for taking part.